Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Eat as Sporkful. I'm Sabrina, and today, as promised, I'm going to show you how to stir fry. I'm going to show you the basic ingredients of stir fry. So let's go. So in this ingredient I use 3 cloves of garlic and about the same amount of ginger root. So what you do, you skin the ginger and then you take out the same amount. So when I put in the more than pesto, I blend it with my hand with the more than pesto. It turns out to be about a tablespoon. You can use food processor. I just like the texture of it better. And over here I have cilantro that I'll use for garnishing later. So here I have a teaspoon of salt, sugar, this is to caramelize the garlic, and cornstarch with water, a tablespoon of cornstarch and a tablespoon of water. And here is my turmeric to add some color. And here's the ground turkey, about half a pound of ground turkey in here. And here I have with me is half a head of cabbage, and it's been cut, not too thin. So let's get cooking. With me is a pan here that's already hot. I put on high heat for about a minute. And in goes my oil. I'm going to let it sit for another minute until it heats up. And after that I'm going to put some sugar. I know you're saying sugar, but I put sugar basically to help me caramelize the onion and the meat. I can't explain to you what it smells like, but you have to try it yourself. It just gives you this aroma. So once the oil's hot, I'm going to put the sugar. I'm going to let the sugar sit there until it's clearly cooked with the oil and almost caramelized. Then I'm going to put the ginger and the garlic mash that I did earlier with the mortar and pesto. So I'm putting garlic in here because it's good. I mean, when eaten raw, it can actually help reduce blood pressure, but I wouldn't recommend you. But it'll give this benefit, but not as highly as effective as a raw form. And for the ginger, it's known to help with nausea and relief of digestive problems. And one of my favorite dishes, what I'll show you later on, is chicken ginger or beef ginger. That's one of the dishes that I'll make for you later. And so the oil and the sugar is now cleared, so I'm going to put this here. And the smell is very amazing. I can't explain. You have to try it yourself. And I do this to basically to help caramelize the meat. So in here I have half a pound of ground turkey. Because it's lean, most likely the meat will clump up together. So just constantly stir it and break it. And I'm going to cook this for about 7 to 8 minutes. And then we're going to add our cabbage. So right now I just want to separate these. And I'm going to lower the heat to medium. So I'm going to let this cook here. But before I do anything else, I'm going to add the salt here. So the salt I used about a teaspoon. You could add more or less later on with cabbage. But at the end, just taste it. If you want more, you can add more according to your like. Whatever you like. And in this case, I'm going to save half the salt for later. So I'm going to let this sit here for another 5 to 6 minutes. So it's been 6 to 7 minutes now. And I want to mention for the vegetarians, if you're a vegetarian, you would just do the oil, the garlic, and ginger, and then just add your vegetable without the meat, and then you just add salt and pepper to it. So that's how you could also stir fry your cabbage without the meat. So now it's been 6-7 minutes. Turkey's done, as you can see. I'm going to add the cabbage. I'm going to constantly stir fry so it's mixed in very well. Now because it's a vegetable leaf, it will draw some water. I know you're saying it looks a little dry, but eventually the water will be drawn out from the cabbage itself. And if not, you can always add water. So some people like their stir fry a little thick, some like it drippy. I like mine in between. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna constantly mix this up, and I'm gonna add the other portion of the salt that I didn't use earlier. Again, at the end, just taste your food. If you need to add more salt, you do that. So I'm going to stir this real good. So for you vegetarian out there, you can do this and skip the meat. You can use tofu. So I'm going to constantly stir for another 5 to 6 minutes also, so the leaf is all wilt. Now if you like yours crunchy, you can cook it for 3 or 4 minutes. But I'll go about with my cabbage for another 5 minutes or so. Alright, I'll see you in 5 minutes. So it's about 7 to 8 minutes later. You can go longer if you like your cabbage more softer. Like, so this is a good texture for me. And what I'm going to add to this is a little bit of pepper, black pepper, just a little bit, and more if you want. And to it, I will actually put a little bit of turmeric powder. Okay, this is also a root, and you'll see me using a lot of turmeric. For one reason, I like my food with coloring, so this is a little plain for me, so I want to enhance the color. So it gives the color of a yellow tone. But not only that, turmeric is also good for you. It's used as a dye, and you'll find in a lot of Asian cuisine, in curry, and in some of the Southeast Asian paste. But turmeric is also good. Now, I'm not a doctor. I've done a lot of readings many years ago, but one of the good things that turmeric's good for is for arthritis, and it also shown to have anti-cancer property. So I'm just going to put a little bit of it here, just a little sprinkle, you know, more if you want, but I like color of my food, so here it is. And to it, this is optional. I had the cornstarch and water earlier, so I think I'm going to put just a little bit because my stir fry is not that soggy, so the purpose of cornstarch and water is to thicken it. So I like the consistency so far. Just add half of it, and it's optional because sometimes you do stir fry, the leaf that you use, it draws a lot of water out, and you don't want soupy stir fried. So I'm just going to put half of it. So I'm going to toss it for another 2 minutes. And it should be done, and I will serve this with rice. Plain and simple. So I'm going to stir it and come back in about 2 minutes. So we're back. I end up adding a little bit of water since it's getting dry, so that cornstarch is optional. I shouldn't have put it in. But anyhow, so as you can see, nice and yellow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dish this in a bowl with rice already in here. I'm going to shut the flame off, the heat off first. Oh, just to mention, when I cooked the meat, it was on medium heat, and when I put in my cabbage, I turned it up a little bit to high. So I just want to mention that. Again, this is a good texture of how I want my cabbage. You can shut the heat off soon, turn off the heat sooner if you want your cabbage to be al dente or crunchy, but I like mine wilted and soft just like this. So to it, here's a bowl of rice, white jasmine rice. You can eat it by itself. So the heat is shut off. And nothing fancy, just a little bit here. So this is good for about 3 servings here. And the cilantro you saw earlier, I'm going to garnish it with cilantro. I love cilantro, so here it is. And you have yourself rice with cabbage and ground turkey. Plain and simple ingredients. So Bon appetit. Let's eat.